What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the new Hasbro Marvel Legends X-Men 97 wave. So we have a bunch of characters in the X-Men 97 design, so that more cartoony design, continuing on from the 92 X-Men cartoon. So we have three characters up front here of Wolverine, Magneto, and Storm. So Wolverine, Magneto, look relatively same as they always do, very little differences. Of course, we'll compare them to other figures. And Storm overall looks relatively similar. She just has the mohawk haircut this time, so that's really going to be the only difference with her. And behind these three, we have Rogue, Gambit, and Bishop, which look pretty cool as well. Again, Rogue and Gambit we've had multiple times before. It is a cool upgrade. He just has shorter hair this time compared to that old comic one where he had the longer hairstyle. So those look pretty cool as well. So all of these just look really awesome. Love the design, the like cartoony design, pretty flat and basic like colors and stuff, no shininess or metallics. Just all look pretty good here, and I love the designs of all these. So I'm excited for them. So let me get them out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So let's start off with Wolverine, and of course we know the story on most of these characters, so I won't go into that, but we'll go over their powers. So Wolverine has regenerative healing factor with deaccelerated aging, as well as superhuman strength, speed, durability, and senses, and then of course he has his adamantium skeleton and his retractable claws, which this looks really cool, of course, for the 97 X-Men. The one thing I noticed, the blue is more of like a grayish blue, or more of a, a fainter tint to it, which, I personally would prefer more of a normal blue, but it still doesn't look bad overall. We have his tiger stripe outfit, or I forget what people call it, but just where has the black stripes on the yellow. Of course, the blue underwear with the red belt with the X-Men logo. Blue boots on his feet with the black stripe going up, and blue gloves as well, where we have the nubs with the claws that come out, which the claws look pretty cool. There seem to be different claws than normal. They're more of like come to closer points at the end, so like they get thinner, which is pretty interesting. So that's a new claw design, it feels like. And then of course we have the head of Logan there, which looks pretty good. Looks, relatively normal to what we've always had, so nothing different there with the hair flaring up there in the back, sideburns, and the angry looking face there. So all of that looks pretty good, I must say. But we'll do the movement, so the head can twist all the way around, look down that far and up that far, so pretty decent movement back and forth. We get the shoulders that can come up close to 90. I don't know if it'll come all the way up at least that far, with the butterfly joint back and forth, and we'll rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist and the double elbow joint that bends up that far at least, so just about 90 there, with the wrist that'll twist around and hinge back and forth. Then we go to the ab crunch in the middle, crunch forward, crunch back, not back very far, but crunch back and forth at least, and can twist around at the waist. Then we get the hips that come up to 90 and out to the side, thigh twist all the way around, double knee joint that'll bend up that far to the back, a little bit stiff there, but that far at least, shin twist down inside the boot, and then we get the foot that'll flex back and forth and twist side to side. And I do like the grips there on the bottom of his feet. That's something new, haven't noticed that before, so at least something new going on there. And then the molding of the pants on, or underwear, whatever you want to call it there, up on his legs is pretty nice as well. So a decent Wolverine overall. Looks relatively similar to ones we've had before. A lot of these characters will look similar to ones we've had, so it's nothing really new or fancy to look at, just a new design with the pinless bodies on pretty much all these figures. There, I know there's at least one that doesn't have pinless, but it just overall looks really good to me. Now accessory wise, we get some additional hands, so we get some hands without the claws out, so we still have the little nubs there on the gloves. And so if you don't want to have the claws, you can have that, but of course it's Wolverine, you gotta have the claws. And usually Wolverine has the mask on his head, but we get the neck piece that we can put on him, so it's like he's got his mask pulled down, so we just gotta pop this head off and then put this around his neck and replace the head. So I don't think it looks the best, but there you can have that on his back. So like I said, it's like he pulled his mask off and it's just dangling there. I just feel it's sitting too much of a point, doesn't sit down low enough. Maybe if we heated it up or something, it would look a little bit better, but you can have that at least if you want to have him unmasked. But then of course we do also get the masked head, which I prefer, so we'll switch this out. So there's the masked head, and I think that looks pretty cool. I love how it's got the nice wide brim, of course, from that classic cartoon design, so that's pretty cool, hanging off the side of the face there. And I think it's pretty cool with the face. It looks like he's got markings around there, at least I assume that's intentional. It's supposed to be cartoon stubble there on his face with just these little black markings, but overall I think it looks pretty good for Wolverine, and that altogether just looks pretty awesome. Love this design. And of course we've had multiple Wolverines that look just like this, so we just grabbed this one, pretty similar design with the yellow and blue outfit and everything. Of course the fins on the head are much closer to the side there, but I just think it looks pretty cool, especially compared to this, because like I said, I grew up watching the X-Men cartoon, so having this, bringing back those memories, so just looks awesome for this version of Wolverine. And next up, we have Magneto, which has the powers of magnetic manipulation with force field creation, flight, can shoot magnetic rays, and metal manipulation. And he looks pretty cool here in this classic design with the red and the purple. Just looks, straight classic Magneto. Looks awesome with the head design. So we can see his face in there, which looks awesome with the black all the way around his eyes. That's pretty cool with the helmet we've seen multiple times before. So all red helmet with the purple outlining and kind of like a metallic purple. So that looks nice all around there. And purple coming down his neck to his cape piece. So he's got the piece around his neck with the bulbs on it, and then the cape that I love how it's like poofs up there around the shoulders and comes down the back and looks pretty nice there. And then we got the red spandex, so red on the chest and arms and down the legs. Purple underwear again with some of the molded pants there on at his hips, and then he's got the boots on his feet with some red showing through there into the purple, as well as purple on his forearms that sort of match that as well. So overall I think he looks pretty good. I think the feet or boots or whatever look a little goofy just the way they're designed, but overall I think everything else about him, he looks really good. But we'll do the movements so the head can twist all the way around, can look down that far and up that far, so good for that. The shoulders can come up to 90 and rotate around within the cape since it's in the way there. We have the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that can bend up that far, so pretty good movements there. Wrist will twist around and hinge back and forth. Then we go to the ab crunch in the middle, so crunch forward and crunch back, so good crunching both ways there, and twist around at the waist. We get the hips that come up to 90 and out to the side, thigh twist all the way around, the double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back, not far, and then we get the foot that'll flex back and forth and twist side to side. So good movements for him as well, a little bit better range than Wolverine had, but with the longer limbs and stuff, it's kind of expected. And overall, I think he looks pretty decent, looks just like Magneto, so nothing really major to change there. But accessory-wise, we do get some additional hands, so we get some fist hands if you want to have fists instead of the open hands there. And for comparison, we of course have that older Magneto, which relatively looks exactly the same. The only real difference I see is the cape's different, and of course they've seemed to have like attached it on the front here, where this one is just pegged in the back, so it still moves around. But helmets look relatively same. I like the more evil face with the wide eyes. I think that looks cool, but everything else seems about the same except the gloves are purple on this one, so we do have that difference. And yeah, about the boots look relatively same and everything else, so we just get more of those underwear pieces molded on there and a little bit different cape and face design. But other than that, they're pretty close to the same design, and I feel you can't go wrong with either one. But I do like this one just having the cape be more permanent. I think it works a little bit better overall. So another awesome figure with Magneto. And next up, we've got Storm, which has the ability to manipulate the weather with control of the temperature and precipitation, as well as generate lightning, thunderstorms, tornadoes, blizzards, and hurricanes. So she looks cool here. Of course, we've had her before, and I'll show you that comparison. Looks relatively same, just minor differences, but she's in the all-white costume with the yellow details, so yellow around the neck, yellow stripe down the center into the belt, yellow little designs on the side, of course, the X-Men logos there, and then she does have the cape piece on the back as well, so pretty much the same fabric cape with the white and yellow as well, and then white everywhere else. But of course she does have the pinless joints, so we do have a single elbow joint, so not going to get the good range in the elbows, but she does have pinless knees, and everything else about it looks pretty good. And of course we have the mohawk hairstyle now, so that's the newer hairstyle, and I think it looks pretty good. I like how it's still got the poofiness and flair to it, especially with the tail down the back, so it still looks 90s, but it just looks crazy instead of her normal haircut that we'll see that she has the mohawk now, but still has the 90s look to it. So I think she looks awesome. But for movements, we get the head that'll twist around, a little bit hard to twist all the way around because of her hair. You can do it, just a little bit in the way, but she can look down that far and then up just about that far because of the hair in the back. We get the shoulders that can come up to 90, a little bit stiff in her shoulders, but yeah, it does come up there to 90 and then can rotate around as well. We get the single elbow joint there that bends to 90 with the rotation, and the wrist will twist all the way around and flex back and forth. Then we get the ab crunch just under her chest, so crunch back and forth and twist all the way around. And then we go down to the hips that can come up close to 90 and out to the side. Thigh twist around, and the double knee joint that bends up that far to the back with the foot that'll flex back and forth and twist side to side. So good movements once again for her. Like I said, I just wish she had the double elbows because that would just make it perfect. But accessory wise, we get some additional hands that I believe are just the opposite of what she has. So we get a fist hand and an open hand for using her powers. So we just get those in the opposite of what she already has there. And for comparison, we have that older figure that, like I said, has the bigger, poofier hair, which I don't mind at all. But just body wise, gonna look pretty much the similar. Like, I know this has more of that metallic to it, but you can see they switched up the designs on the arms, and now the bands around the wrists are permanently molded on there. And everything else about it's, relatively the same. Not much difference between the two, obviously, just with the pinless joints and stuff. So definitely a nice improvement. And if we wanted to, we could probably switch the heads between them. So if we don't want the mohawk, but like I said, I really like this design. And next up, we have Rogue, which has the ability to absorb powers, energies, memories, knowledge, talent, personality, and physical ability of another through physical contact of the skin. And she looks pretty good here. So, of course, we've had her before, pretty similar design. The only real main difference, which you'll see when I do that comparison, is that she has a greenish color jacket on this time instead of the brown. But everything else about her looks relatively the same. She still has, the multicolor hair with the white and brown, which I love the molding of the white on top of the brown. I think it looks nice and cartoony and stuff. And then her face, which does look different, especially compared to what we've had, but I do like it. But then she has the headband on around there in black as well. And then we transition to her costume. So she's got the all spandex costume that's yellow down the center with green on the side. So we get yellow down the center with the X-Men logo there, and then the green down the sides that run down her legs, as well as the arms to the gloves where she has the yellow gloves on, belt around the waist with the X-Men logo. As I mentioned, that green jacket as well that has the X-Men logo on the shoulders. So that's a nice jacket design. And then the spandex continues down the legs till we get to the knee-high yellow boots that have the green straps around them as well there. So overall looks pretty good. Like I said, really similar to what we've had before, but it will be just minorly different. But for the moons, we get the head that'll twist. Again, can twist around. Should be able to go around there all the way, but just a little bit difficult because the hair, and then can look down that far and then up just about that far. So again, not the best because of all the hair, but still works out. The shoulders come up to 90 and rotate all the way around. We get the single elbow joint that bends close to 90 there and has rotation. And then the wrist will twist all the way around and hinge back and forth a little. She doesn't have the widest range in there for some reason, but yeah, just a little back and forth. Then we get the ab crunch under her chest, so crunch back and forth and can twist all the way around. Then we got the hips that'll come up to 90 and out to the side a little. Thigh twist around. The double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back, so not too bad. And the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So pretty decent. She has some limitations, so she has the single elbow joints again, and then her hips only come out that far to the side, which is pretty crazy. I feel it should be much better than that, but overall, like I said, I do like this design. It's definitely cartoony. Like, she definitely, with her head design, does look very much like the cartoon. And then for some reason, I have a minor issue standing her. I don't know what's going on with standing her. She either falls backwards or forwards, and I keep trying to adjust her legs and everything to get her to stand out, unless she's just top heavy or something. But yeah, I just have minor issues getting her to stand, so that's the most annoying thing about this figure. But for additional accessories, we do get some hands. So we get a gloved hand for the left and an ungloved hand for the right, so she can touch with her powers, and she automatically comes with the gloved hand that is holding the other glove. So we should probably be switching this hand out for it to make sense. So there, she's without glove now, and it makes more sense that she's holding the glove in that hand. So there we've got Rogue there, which, like I said, I like this design a lot. But we can bring in the older Rogue, and you can see a lot of the similarities. Of course, body style is going to be different with the new upgraded body, but a lot of similarities between the two. Again, she's holding the glove in that one with the ungloved head, and then she has more of the brown bomber jacket compared to the new green one here, and then green band on her head compared to the black. So again, just minor differences there, but overall, like I said, I really like this new figure a lot. And next up we have Gambit, which has the ability to charge the potential energy in an object into kinetic energy that results in an explosion. So the size of the object affects the time required to charge the object. And I think he looks pretty cool here. Now this is one that would be hard to fudge into your collection, just because to me the face looks so cartoony, it's just so smooth and everything that it looks so cartoony. So you could use this figure wise, at least for the figure, and put in your collection if you switch out a head or something. But just using this, I don't think it would work too well. And I think it's mostly just because of the eyes, because they're trying to do his red eyes there that's surrounded all by the black. It just doesn't work out and makes it look more cartoony with the smooth skin. But I like this look overall. For a cartoon version, I think it looks nice with the newer jacket design, so the newer trench coat, so it's all nice and smooth, nice flat brown color. So I think it looks nice, but again, I think it feeds into that cartooniness. The head, as I talked about, I always love when he has the crazy hair, so that's nice with the black covering that goes all the way around him. And then we get his outfit under there, which looks nice. nice with the pink and then like metallic-y blue up there around his neck. It's transitioning into the black with the pink down the legs, and then the metallic-y blue for his knees and down his boots. And then he's got the covered arms all the way to his gloved hands there as well. So overall, I think he looks good. Looks just like Gambit, as I know. Of course, I was introduced to Gambit through the cartoon, so it looks exactly how I've always pictured him. But I do like this, but like I said, it would be hard to fit into your comic collection. But we'll do the movements. So we get the head that'll twist all the way around. A little bit difficult with the color there, but can look down that far and up that far. So decent movements in the head. The shoulders come up to 90 and rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist and the single elbow joint for him that bends there to 90 with the rotation, and then the wrist will twist around and hinge up and down for this one. So we have that hinge here. Then we go to the ab crunch. So in the ab cut out there, so you can crunch forward, and of course can't crunch back too far because of the jacket, but nice crunching there, and obviously can twist around at the waist as well. Then we get the hips that come up to 90 and out to the side just that far, a thigh twist all the way around. We get the double knee joint. Now he has the pin joint here, so I think he's the only figure that has any pins in him, and it's in his knee there, so it bends up about that far. And then we get a shin twist in the middle of the leg that can twist around, and then we get the foot that'll flex back and forth and twist side to side. So overall, his movements aren't terrible, so he has the pinless knees and stuff, which doesn't really matter with him being in the trench coat, and as long as they work, it doesn't matter. But I thought he'd just seem more new overall and have better range movements, but he just seems, relatively similar to what we've already had. So nothing really new or different going on there, just more with his look specifically. But then we get some accessories. So since his powers is using kinetic energy, and a lot of times he uses playing cards, we do get items like a playing card. So we have this playing card here. We have an Ace of Hearts. That has some like his pinkish color coming off of it there with his energy. So you can obviously take and stick that into his hands. Like with this two-fingered hand, you can take it and stick it in between there. So like he's getting ready to throw. So you get that as an option. And then for his left as well, he has a hand throwing the cards, so you can see the different aces there being thrown. But I always hate these effects because to me they never make sense and I don't think they look good, so I won't be putting that on. But he comes with that usual effect, but again in the same colors that match. And then finally he has his collapsible bow staff, so just his nice bow staff that's more in that metallic blue that matches him, so we can stick this into his other hand. So there is Gambit with his cards and the bow staff, and that looks really cool. And we can bring in the other Gambits we've had. So we have this Gambit, which is probably one of my favorite ones so far. Again, has the weird looking eyes, but looks more realistic, especially compared to this new one. But yeah, relatively same outfit designs and colors and stuff, just obviously in different shades, but overall looks relatively the same. So definitely probably won't be replacing this one on the shelf, but it does look really good. I just love the design of this. Just wish he looked a tiny bit more realistic in the face, so it could be the new comic one. And finally, we have Bishop, which has the ability to absorb vast types of energy and project that energy from his body in the form of concussive blast, energy rays, explosions, fire, and plasma. And he also has superhuman strength and speed, as well as accelerated hearing, making him near invulnerable. So he looks cool here. So this is a little bit different Bishop than what we've had before, but I would say this is probably a good upgrade because I think he looks really nice body design. Fits perfect for Bishop. The only difference is that he's got the shorter haircut. I always like Bishop where he has, more of the longer hair, but everything else about it looks good. Again, very cartoony looking to him, especially in the face, but I don't think it's as bad as Gambit, so I feel especially if you got a different head or swapped out and stuff, it'd look just fine. But I think the head's probably the only thing stopping from just going right on the shelf now, but still really like it a lot. Of course, he's got the M on his eye from being marked, and like I said, the shorter hair, so he's got the shorter, like kind of spiky hair there, and overall looks good, nice like goatee and everything. And then going down to his X-Men outfit, so all the yellow and blue looks really nice here, belt around the waist with the X logo off to the side. He's got like the straps up on his shoulders that connect into the holder there on his back for his gun. Nice bandana around his neck in red there, which is cool. Bare arms until his gloves. He's got the black gloves there, and then the all blue and yellow continues down to his boots, so he's got the darker blue boot color there. Looks pretty nice. He has these weird paddings on his legs. I don't know what those are for, but again, just adds more to the design, makes him bigger and bulkier and everything, which I like. But for his movements, the head will twist all the way around, look down that far and up that far, so not the best range of movement there, definitely the least. That feels like there's no hinge in there, it's just on a ball joint. The shoulders can come up to 90 and rotate all the way around. Got to worry about that shoulder piece though. And then we get a bicep twist and the double elbow joint that bends up that far, almost all the way up on itself, so definitely the best range. Wrist will twist around and hinge back and forth for this ham. Then we go to the ab crunch. You can see that cut out there, so crunch forward, crunch back. Not the best in crunching, just feels like a little bit's in the way, but still not bad at all. twist around at the waist. The hips will come up that far, so just under 90 it looks like, and out to the side, but that could just all be because of the thickness of it. Thigh twist around the double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back, almost kicking his butt, not far off from it. And then the boot will twist all the way around, and the foot will flex back and forth, a little bit stiff, but can flex back and forth and twist side to side. So relatively good movements, probably about the best range besides in the neck of all the figures so far today, so that's pretty good. So awesome to have a nice upgraded figure for Bishop. But then we go to his accessories, so we get some additional hands. So we get some gun hands, so he's got trigger fingers there. Of course, he uses guns a lot, so we have the trigger fingers that'll work out. We'll be able to switch out. And then he also gets his gun, so we have his gun that he's able to charge with his own energy and shoot, and looks pretty good. It's relatively small to what he normally uses, but it still, looks like a gun. And with this, we can store it into his backpack here, or whatever strap thing, so you can stick it back there. Fits pretty well, and he can reach up and grab it or whatever you want to have him do, so that's cool. But let's go and switch out the hands, and we'll put this in his hands. So there's the gun in Bishop's hand, and I think overall it looks pretty good. I do really like the overall design of the gun, but I feel him holding it like this, like it's way too small to be double-handed like that, so probably just a gun he could just use in one hand, but overall really adds to the aesthetic of Bishop. I think it looks really nice there. And of course, for comparison, we do have that older Bishop, so here we have that, which like I said, I do like the one with the long hair, so I do like this hair design and face a little bit more. Not that there's really an issue, just a little, more realistic, but overall I'd say a much needed upgrade to the body, because this body just looks really old to me. So I'm definitely glad that we have this upgraded body, because it's a nice replacement for this. But you can see still, has the gun holder on the back, all the straps in yellow from the yellow and blue spandex and stuff, so just a better upgrade, like I said, overall. But like I said, I do like the head more on this older one compared to this new one, but I still really like this Bishop. It's a really good looking figure. Well, that's it for our Hasbro Marvel Legends X-Men 97 wave, where we got upgraded figures of many characters that we're going to be seeing in the X-Men 97 series, where we got Wolverine, Magneto, Rogue, Storm, Gambit, and Bishop. And I really like a lot of these figures. Like I said, with a lot of them, you can just switch out and put it on your shelf if you want to upgrade your comic characters. Like I said, you have some issues, especially with Gambit, and Rogue may be there as well, but all the others you could just switch out right away. But I do feel all these figures are upgraded bodies and everything that work out much better than the past ones, so I'm excited that they'll probably be using these bodies going forward for other remakes that they're going to do with all these different characters. So let me know what you thought of these 6 down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, let me know with a thumbs up. I want to thank y'all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.